Hi guys, this is Aegis, and I've got here Game 2 between Team Laserface and Team Poison from the APL Beta League. We do have here Aldorvandi spawning as the blue Protoss player for Team Laserface. On the other side we do have OZX spawning as the yellow Zerg player for Team Poison. So we are going to be seeing this PvT match on Match Point. Match Point is a map ported in from Brood War, so it does not have any of those Xel'Naga towers. It also does have these two mineral patches by the natural expansion, a reminiscent of a Brood War, where you have these mineral patches that you can mine away to open up new paths. However, these two mineral patches are sort of just decoration. Over here we do have a third base that only has minerals. There are no gases at this expansion. There's 7 mineral patches available for mining, and it does look like Aldorvandi has decided to maybe do a fast expansion. He does have probes rallied out to the front, possibly going to be dropping a forge first. We'll see if he decides to do that. A probe is making its way into OZX's base. Going to be checking out everything that's going on. There is a gas coming up for OZX, and the Protoss player does see that, so he knows that there probably will be a spawning pool shortly. And there's a spawning pool coming up for OZX. Aldorvandi now throwing down the forge at the front of his gate. Behind that, in front of that pylon, he can wall that off with a few more buildings. Maybe a nexus right here would help wall that off as well. Overlord now making its way across the map, going to be doing some spotting action later on in the game. Going to be able to scoot into the Protoss base to check out everything that is going on. Aldorvandi continuing to make probes right now. He is going to be spending all of that chrono boost on those probes. He could make a probe right now, but it does look like he's going 17 Nexus. He will be dropping that Nexus right now. Look at that tiny space over there that he can easily close off, and a space over here that he can also easily close off to prevent any sort of Zergling run by. These two mineral patches are actually doing a good job of blocking this area off. It does look like there is going to be a photon cannon. I believe that is a tight wall, but I'm not sure if that's a hole or not. And there's a gateway. That is definitely a tight wall right now. That leaves just the space over here. Our Zerg player has finished his spawning pool, is getting the Zergling speed. A couple of Zerglings out on the field right now, going to be chasing after that probe. Maybe it'll stop and drop a pylon. Does not look like it. Another pylon going down, no doubt, to close off the space to get a nice tight wall to base Protoss very quickly, and we'll be able to mine a ton of minerals. A gas coming up for Aldorvandi. Over here, our Zerg player OZX has grabbed his natural expansion with his hatch. Is going to be completing that sometime in the near future. Another queen on the way. The first queen looks like it's going to be trying to make its way over to the other hatch shortly. Couple of Zerglings trying to spawn in here, does get walled off. A cybernetics core does go down. A second photon cannon. Actually, he doesn't really need this right now. That's 150 minerals that he could put into a gateway. But he is getting that second cannon to be extra safe. There's no indication that our Zerg player is actually trying to bust this. So that second cannon is actually completely unnecessary. In fact, there are no guys in gas right now, just making pure drones. But this does give Aldorvandi the expansion advantage, or the economic advantage, at least for the moment. But OZX is going to rectify that right away, grabbing this hatchery, and will be ahead in terms of bases shortly. 3 more drones in the production queue. No sort of units coming out from Aldorvandi, or from either player actually. Stargate now on the way for Aldorvandi. That Overlord is in prime position to be able to scoot in here real soon, around 6 minutes and 30 seconds, to check what's going on inside of the Protoss base. Warp Gate research is now getting started, so that Stargate was actually ahead of that Warp Gate research. So that is a very fast Stargate. We'll be able to get those Phoenix out. I assume it's going to be Phoenix and Void Rays for himself to be able to stop that third base from coming up, or even destroy it after it does come up. It looks like it will be completing way before those Void Rays do make it across the map. We've got an Evo chamber for OZX right now, definitely thinking of the long term of the game. Going to start spreading the creep as well. More overlords are going to be spreading out across this area. Going to be make sure he gets adequate spotting. 2 zerglings over here as well. Looks like we got the void rays on the way. Going to get chrono boosted, and a couple of sentries. Just 1 sentry actually out in the field. Looks like he's paused probe production for the moment. No probes in. Actually, no. There's a probe in the production queue. A couple more. Drones actually getting produced by OZX, going to be cutting it pretty close to that drone production line. He only has 2 queens out in the field, so he may be quite underprepared for these void rays. There's no queen over here, and it does look like there are Phoenix going to be joining this game as well. And the first void ray is out on the map. It does not meet with any sort of overlords. The overlords is actually scouting across over here. Let's take a look. Does he see that Stargate? No, he does not. So he's not going to be ready for those void rays and phoenixes. There's no queen at this hatch. There's only 1 queen over here. She could get easily lifted and killed off by the void ray. The second queen is over here. He does have the Evo chamber, so he will be able to throw down a couple of spore crawlers really quickly. Looks like we're going to be picking up a couple of drones over here. Looks like he did misclick and pick up a drone instead of that queen, and it looks like that void ray is going to be cleaning up here very quickly. A couple of spore crawlers now coming up for OZX. That the 2 queens have joined over here, and it looks like the air units from our Protoss player are going to be forced to back up. This does, however, give our Protoss player nice air control all over the map. Going to be able to clean up any sort of overlords sort of floating around over here and here. And he can easily secure map control and maybe even secure another base. However, our Zerg player here is starting to make a few roaches just in case of any sort of ground push, which I do not actually see happening anytime in the near future. It's just mainly sentries over here. There are these mineral fields that Aldervandi can mine out to be able to let his ground units out. More Phoenixes getting chrono boost as well. A couple of Zerglings still spawning around the map, and we also do have the robotics facilities coming up. No sort of reaction to this air aside from the spore crawlers for OZX from Team Poison, and it looks like that queen is going to be doing some shooting action, and she's going to get picked up and easily killed off. That void ray is also going to get a nice charge. We'll see if OZX has a better response to this. He's got another queen going to be coming in here for the moment. More Phoenixes joining this fight. That spore crawler getting moved, and it does get targeted by the void ray, and the second queen gets picked up over there. Looks like that spore crawler may actually go down, and OZX is going to be cutting it close here. He has another spore crawler on the way. The queen does survive, but there is a charged up void ray getting picked up once again. The Phoenix has not much energy left over here. Actually, this guy still has plenty of energy and easily clean up a couple of drones over here. That void ray going to town. 9 kills on that void ray. More units. The roach is getting produced right now, so he may be going for some sort of bust, but Aldervandi has plenty of units back home. He has the sentries necessary. He has the 2 cannons. He even has the +1 ground weapons finishing up, as well as observers and the capacity to produce some immortals. More void rays on the way. It looks like the Phoenixes over here just gonna take a pause, take a break over here. OZX getting into the red food for a moment. He's gonna be attacking in here real soon. The Phoenix is gonna be doing some scouting action. Will catch the tail end of those roaches moving out. OZX is banking on this, doing a ton of damage, but it does look like he's killed off his own forge. Aldervandi is now moving out across the map. Will he get caught out of position? All the roaches now streaming in here. Will he be able to break in here? It looks like Aldervandi is making his way across the map, and it looks like the roaches have made their way in here. There is 1 void ray at home. The cannon quickly goes down. Another cannon trying to get made, but it quickly goes down as well. And it looks like our Protoss forces are trying to pull back here to be able to defend, and those roaches are sort of trapped in here now. All of the sentries are now back home. They can throw up the guardian shields and even some force fields, and it looks like they've been trapped out of the base as well. The roaches trying to do some damage against those probes. Oh, very nice trap with the force fields. All of those roaches are basically doing nothing. Warp in of a ton of stalkers. OZX has lost all of his roaches. However, he has taken the time to make 11 more roaches burrow coming up, as well as the Zerg missile attacks +2. We've got the roaches out on the field. However, our Protoss army is really strong looking. He can actually go for some sort of push, maybe try to end the game right now. This Overlord still running scared. Couple of 2 Two Zerglings in the center of the map. Now they're going to be able to run away. The Phoenix is doing some advanced spotting action. A couple of Roaches in the center of the map. OZX spending all of his money. Aldervandi not spending his money well at all. He can easily grab another base. Two Void Rays at home. Going to be doing some guarding action, I guess. A fourth base trying to come up for OZX. But he's got to be ready. He's got to try to make enough troops to defend against this push. Aldervandi has taken center control over here. He's now pushing this base. This entire center ground area is very vital for you to take control of if you want to defend this third base. But it does look like OZX was not able to retain control of that. The Void Rays also being able to catch those Roaches off guard, and they're nice force field's going to wall those Roaches off, be able to deal with the Roaches coming from behind first. The Phoenix is not actually doing too much in the air. Here come the Roaches from the front. A couple of force fields will be able to deny those Roaches, but the Void Rays in the air, there's no response for OZX for those Void Rays, and all those Void Rays are going to get charged up. A ton of Overlords over here will be able to get picked off by our Protoss player. I don't see OZX being able to come back from this at all. He's got not much going for himself except for these Spore Crawlers over here, but the Stalker count is just increasing by the moment, and this hatch is also about to go down. 3 charged up Void Rays is going to be very hard to break, especially with now robotic support coming out, Immortals coming out onto the field. The Void Rays over here now cleaning up a couple of drones. The Phoenix is also cleaning up a couple of Overlords. Stalker's now advancing forward, going to be able to do some damage against these Spore Crawlers. Spore Crawlers easily going down to those charged up Void Rays. A ton of Corruptors, no, just 2 Corruptors getting made. My mistake. A ton of Roaches trying to get made. But it's just not going to be enough. There's a ton of Stalkers on the ground, and the Void Rays cleaning up everything. The Void Rays continuing to stay charged. A couple of Corruptors over there, but not quite able to do the damage necessary. The Roaches getting a bad rally point. The second hatch is going to go down. OZX with the GG. Team Laserface takes an easy lead in Game 2. Will Team Poison be able to pull it back together, or will they lose 3-0? Find out in the next game. It will be on that GSL Terminus SE.